News 13's Aaron Brown joins us live right now with more about what authorities say happened yesterday. Aaron?
Well, Bob, authorities say 7-month-old Dean Coward was found in this neighborhood last night. This is off of Via Ponticello. Well, the Marlboro County Sheriff's Office says 25-year-old Cameron Demetrius McCrae was arrested today after being released from the hospital and now faces a handful of charges. Since Emily's death last September, Florence County EMS created the PEER team. It focuses on emotional and mental support for its employees, and it also encourages them to seek help when they feel stressed, vulnerable, or traumatized. That's right, Bob. Police say McCrae broke into this Tiger Mart at 3 a.m. He's now charged with petty larceny and burglary. Well, Councilman Trey Gamage is spearheading the effort. He says the city has received grants to help them get the cemetery nationally recognized. He also says people from the Historic Registry have stopped by to check it out. So far, so good. Despite the bad weather today, there was a lot of thunder, a lot of rain, but despite that weather, thousands of students still made their way through this event, and the teachers and students all seemed very excited to be back in the classroom. I also spoke with Principal Tara Bullard. She said she was also very pleased with how the first day of school went.
Emergency crews are working around the clock to prepare for Hurricane Florence and its potential impacts. News 13's Aaron Brown continues our live team coverage now. She's at the Florence County Emergency Dispatch Center to tell us what they're doing ahead of the storm's arrival. Aaron?
Nicole, they held a briefing today to go over evacuation plans, damage assessment, and long and short-term recovery. The newest update is that the storm's potential impacts have changed. Florence County is now expected to get more than 10 inches of rain, and the storm is expected to last until Sunday morning.
News 13's Aaron Brown is live inside the EOC Center tonight to tell us a little bit more about a brand new tool to help people out there stay informed. Aaron.
Well, Megan, they've just rolled out a new emergency alert system called Everbridge. Residents can sign up online to receive text, calls, or emails to stay updated both during and after the storm. The EOC is fully active today. I spoke with officials here who say they've been preparing for days now to respond to whatever aftermath Hurricane Florence leaves behind. We're seeing about 7.5 inches of rain throughout the area. A strong wind gust tonight and lots of heavy rain. We're expecting the storm to pick up and intensify in the next half hour. And right here I'm standing in a few inches of water, and we're seeing the first stages of flooding. Those river levels have risen past the record that was hit during Hurricane Matthew. But this wind is very strong, very ferocious. It certainly has the power to throw anything around or lift anything from the ground. Now, some people think that when these power lines come down, they're no longer active. That is extremely false. You should always assume that if you see a down power line, assume that it's active, assume that it has the power and potential to kill you. If you're in a low-lying area, please go ahead and seek shelter. A few inches have already accumulated right here on the sidewalk. Some houses have snapped trees in their front yards, and some trees are blocking some of the roadways. I want to show you right behind me, this Marriott sign is just getting torn right off. Right now there's about 42,000 customers throughout the area who are without power. There are several downed branches in this road, one right in front of me right here, a few back there under that tree, and then across the street several down branches and down leaves in people's yards. Yesterday we saw a quick spurt of rain at about 7:30, but it came and went. But now we're seeing a consistent downpour. Do not drive over them. Certainly don't touch them. Don't even touch them with another object like a stick. I-95 is still closed this morning from exits 19 to 22, which is where I'm standing right now. This is because of all of the widespread flooding that is continuing to persist throughout Lumberton. We're expecting those water levels in the river to rise tonight, possibly to about 19 feet, which is well above flood stage, which is 13 feet. Again, we're expecting that river to rise to about 19 feet tonight and to continue to rise. So this time tomorrow night, it could possibly be at 24 feet, which would surpass the record which the river hit during Hurricane Matthew. the water has risen to 25 feet and has completely decimated some of the roads and the houses that are near that river. We will, of course, continue to monitor the conditions of the river and bring you the latest. Live in Lumberton, Aaron Brown for News 13.
News 13's Aaron Brown spoke with one family who lives off Alamac Road. That's one of the most severely flooded streets.
Bethany Johnson says she and her family have been living in a motel since they evacuated on Saturday. She says when they returned home and saw this, they were absolutely devastated.
Aaron, what else does the lawsuit say?
Well, Nicole, the lawsuit states a CSX-owned underpass created a gap in the city's levees, and the plaintiffs of that lawsuit say that CSX ignored requests from the city to fill that opening. Well, my plan was to check out some of those floodwaters, but I actually wasn't able to make it in town through the Marion County sign. As you can see behind me, this is what plenty of the roads look like here. They're blocked off with road signs, and they're guarded by Army tanks and members of the National Guard. Residents here say they've never seen flooding like this in Hartsville. Officials at Sunoco say they're now teaming up with another big company to release outflows from 2 other bodies of water. I spoke with Jamie Deaver of Latta Feeding Farms. He says it wasn't the floodwaters that damaged his business, it was the wind. This is one of the hardest hit roads in Lumberton. Now right here, the water is about ankle deep, but the farther down you go, it rises to about your thighs. Those 2 residents who I spoke with tell me the mosquitoes are so bad here, they can't do everyday things like mow the lawn or take out the trash. Officials in Darlington County and Hartsville are working to monitor these conditions. I spoke with one man who says he has faith that the federal government will do what they can to make sure the money gets here to South Lumberton, but he says he feels South Lumberton was forgotten in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew, and he doesn't want that to happen again. Some of Bethany's neighbors say they had a few inches of water rise into their houses. Others say they had a few feet. Right now, it's unknown exactly how long the recovery process will take. Reporting in Lumberton, Aaron Brown for News 13.